For the last 2 years, foster parents Silas and Corinne have welcomed immigrant children into their Michigan home. These children often arrive alone at the border, and the government oversees their care while it locates their families.
We pick them up from the airport at like midnight. So they're coming to this brand new country, this new state, this new home, people that don't speak their language.
Silas and Corinne received their training from Grand Rapids-based Bethany Christian Services. It's become a leading provider of family-based care for immigrant children. For almost 40 years, Bethany has helped kids showing up alone at the border. Then this spring came a new and surprising development. The children began telling their foster parents how they came with their parents and then were taken from them by the government. It was part of the controversial and short-lived zero-tolerance policy.
They didn't know that they weren't going to see their parents again in many cases. So these children were separated, they were taken, put in on a bus or an airplane, and they had no idea where they were going or what was happening.
Silas and Corinne welcomed 4 children, ages 3 to 9.
We saw a lot of trauma, a lot of nightmares, stomach aches, headaches.
Adam and Rachel's foster child told her counselor how she saw Honduran police shoot her grandmother. After the girl and her father fled to the U.S., she watched border agents take him away.
As a 4-year-old, she just had such a heavy soul from that and from just constantly reliving being torn away from her dad. And so I think what we saw was those 2 traumatic experiences just compounded on a 4-year-old's shoulders. And there was times where, yeah, it would crush her.
I was very frustrated watching it play out on the news and seeing both sides of this story, because I think there were a lot of people who also didn't get it. And I think until you are face to face with it, and until you are tucking that crying kid in at night and rubbing their back and laying with them and hearing their stories, like, you don't understand the magnitude of what they're going through.
Under the policy, the government took 2,400 children from their parents. Today, almost all are back with family, either in the U.S. or their home country. Still, foster parents are in high demand because of children who come alone to the U.S. Right now, a staggering 13,000 are in federal custody. Bethany can only care for 100, so the government puts many of the kids in emergency facilities. This is a new tent city in Texas where 1,500 youth live while they wait to be reunited with family.
Kids should never have to stay in a tent city. Kids should never be apart from their parents. And it just shows you how desperate things are, that kids are hearing about this and the parents are still sending them.
We know in this country that children are best cared for in a family setting. That's what we do in our own domestic foster care setting. We don't place thousands of children who are in foster care in one large tent city, where we promote foster homes and foster care placement because we know that's what's best for children. These children are no different.
Experts blame government red tape for the high number of immigrant kids still in government custody. One reason, a new rule took effect this year requiring all members of a household taking in children to be fingerprinted. That has increased the wait time. Now the Trump administration has changed that rule, and there's hope that the number of kids in shelters will drop. All this at a time that foster parents are recovering from a year they never expected.
Obviously, kids being separated from their parents is not God's vision of the world. And so how do we step into the kingdom work that he has for us to solve that?
Corinne and Silas marvel at the resiliency displayed by their children and hope they can recover and receive what they need to someday achieve their dreams.
One of the little boys we just had, his dream was to be a firefighter or a police officer. So they have these big dreams, and we just hope that they get the opportunity to realize those.
Going forward, Bethany hopes to expand its foster program for the children who continue to pour across the border. It also wants their home countries and the U.S. to address the issues that caused their families to flee in the first place. Reporting in Grand Rapids, Heather Sells, CBN News.